Tulsi Gabbard has announced she has referred Obama to the DOJ for a criminal investigation pertaining to treason. Now, they're not actually saying publicly that there are formal charges, but Tulsi Gabbard has said this was a treasonous conspiracy and a years-long coup, and that now she has referred this matter to the DOJ to investigate its criminal implications. And you know what I'm going to say about it? Get ready. Civil war. I mean, I'm half kidding, but the reality is right now there's two stories, and we were trying to figure out which one was the lead, because the other is, across all the corporate press, they're saying Donald Trump is named in the Epstein files. And remember, Elon Musk said the same thing. The question is his name passively in the files, like it mentions that Epstein had been to his parties or that Trump had been around for certain instances? We don't know, but the corporate press is running that as their major headline. So let me just stress right now, there are two stories. The current presidential administration of the Republican Party is accusing a previous Democratic presidential administration of engaging in treason, for which the penalty is death, and a coup against the United States. At the same time, Democrats and the corporate press are accusing Donald Trump of being a child sex trafficker. So when you have two groups at the apex of these power structures basically accusing each other of high crimes, like serious high crimes, I don't know what you'd call it. Eric Weinstein called it an administrative civil war. Fine. But does this end with just political fallout? I honestly have no idea. All I can say is that things are getting increasingly insane. Now, we do have a bunch of other stories. Trump's apparently rejecting a lot of this. CNN is claiming that Donald Trump is, there are these photos of Epstein from 1993. The media is going heavy against Trump on this issue. We'll talk about that. And then Candace Owens got sued because she called Bridget Macron a man. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Candace is allowed to call whoever she wants a man. And the funny thing about this story, the Macrons are actually suing Candace, accusing her of defamation. I have a question. What is defamatory about calling someone transgender? There's something wrong with that? Is someone going to be damaged by being believed to be transgender? That's a really interesting argument you're making there, Macrons, in these United States. So we're going to talk about all that and more. But my friends, we got a great sponsor tonight. It is Lear Capital. My friends, you know, the more I dig in the numbers, the more I get why so many financial individuals, experts are calling silver one of the most undervalued assets. I mean, here I am talking about the apocalypse, the political apocalypse. And indeed, I've got a stack of silver here on me as well, because I do believe that silver and gold are good. It's good to have. It's a good hedge. It's a good investment. So let's be real, my friends. We're talking about solar tech, electric vehicles, AI, some of the biggest technology shifts of our lifetime. Silver is essential to all of this. They're talking about building these massive data centers all over the planet. Facebook's building, I think Meta's doing massive data centers. In order to operate all of this, silver is a key component. Not to mention, they want to replace all cars with self-driving cars. In my opinion, I mean, I recommend you guys reach out to Lear Capital to learn more about this and get a trusted expert to talk to you about it. My opinion, I think this is going to drive the price way up. And especially with talk of electric Uber and the Waymos and all that stuff taking over. Right now, we're in a multi-year deficit. Demand is outpacing supply. Add in all of that big tech stuff. Robert Kiyosaki, the guy behind Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he's calling silver the most overlooked opportunity on the market right now. He thinks it could double or even triple by the end of 2025. Wow. So here's the deal. If you guys are serious and you want to get out of the curve, I recommend you guys reach out to Lear Capital. Check it out. You can go to leartim.com. They got a phone number. It is 1-800-489-6450. Once again, that's 1-800-489-6450. Shout out Lear. Thanks for sponsoring the show. And also, go buy some coffee. Castbrew.com. We got a bunch of great flavors. Everyone's favorite Appalachian Nights. The low acidity graphene dream. Look at Ian floating there like some kind of guru. He's not. But anyway, we've also got 1776 Signature Brew, which is Josie the Redheaded Libertarian's American Cream. It's so good. And the Birthday Blend. Very, very delicious stuff. If you want to support the show, you can buy Cash Brew coffee. But more importantly, smash that like button right now. Give it a little tap. Share the show if you really do support the work that we do. If everybody watching just took the URL, shared it, or told some friends to watch, that massive impact. That's how we exist. So really do appreciate you guys helping share the show, and do so, subscribe. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more, we've got Salena Zito.
Hey there. Thanks for having me.
Who are you? What do you do?
I'm a reporter. I work for the Washington Examiner, also a contributor to the Washington Post. I live in Western Pennsylvania, and that's how I cover the country. So I don't fly. I don't do highways. I don't do interstates, turnpikes. I always take the back road because that's how I find out what's really going on in the country, in particular in the places that decide election cycles, like places like Erie, Pennsylvania, or Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, or in Wisconsin. And it just gives me a better understanding about how people feel about whether it's the issues you were just talking about right now or how people felt in the lead up to the election cycle. Right on. Well, thanks for joining us. Should be fun. We got producer Tate.
Howdy, howdy. Producer Tate here. Happy to be here.
Right on. Brett's hanging out.
What's going on, guys? Brett. Normally Pop Culture Crisis Monday through Friday at 3 p.m., but let's get into it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and counter-revolutionary. Let's get into it.
From the post-millennial DNI, Tulsi Gabbard refers Obama to DOJ to investigate criminal implications of revelations on the Russia collusion hoax. Earlier today, Tulsi Gabbard released documents showing that an assessment had been made that Obama knowingly ordered Brennan to release information that they knew to be bogus in an effort to smear Donald Trump. According to this report, actually, let me just pull this straight up so you can see it. We've got this document here, September 18th, 2020, with a couple interesting pages. Notably, on page 3, they make a few points. Let's pull this one up. They say this. So let me just summarize instead of reading through everything. The credibility of their underlying sources was called into question. The accusation that Russia was trying to help Trump win was based off of a sentence fragment. I kid you not. It never explicitly stated that Putin wanted Trump to win. It made references to Hillary Clinton's ill health. And from that, they made assumptions. Now, what ends up happening is they go through this. Members of the intelligence community are all basically putting their hands up being like, this doesn't mean anything. This is not remarkable. This is highly dubious, and we can't include this in any kind of real report. Which brings us to the final page, which is where it gets interesting. On the final page, it reads, acting on President Obama's orders, DCIA Brennan directed a full review and publication of raw human intelligence source information that had been collected before the election. CIA officers said that some of this information had been held on the orders of DCIA, while other reporting had been judged by experienced CIA officers to have not met long-standing publication standards. That is, they had this potential tidbit from a human source that was a sentence fragment and didn't prove anything and barely insinuated anything. They passed it around. Many of the individuals in the intelligence community said, this is nothing. Why are you showing me this? And then Obama said, publish it anyway. So that's just a small tidbit. Additionally, in these documents, there's evidence that Russia actually wanted Hillary to win. They viewed her as sickly and thought that if she were to win, they could take advantage of that. Now we have this story. Now, let me just stress, as we go through this is interesting. Many have said this is a distraction because Tulsi didn't say we've sent Obama this information for a criminal referral. She said to investigate criminal implications, which is like, why the weird word games? I don't know for sure. At the same time, the corporate press is running the story that Trump is named in the Epstein files. And the House is blocking this. I spoke with Thomas Massey, and he says that Speaker Johnson doesn't want this vote to come to the floor, and that people were thanking him, somewhat facetiously said this, because they're basically getting an extra day off before they go on August recess. Now, I don't know what's going on. I can tell you this. The center of power of the Democratic base, the establishment, the Uniparty, is accusing Donald Trump through the corporate press and Democratic politicians of being a child sex trafficker partying with Epstein. The sitting president and his director of national intelligence, they are accusing a former president, of engaging in treason against the United States, for which the crime is punishable by death. I don't know how much further this could possibly escalate in the political space. What do you guys think?
It's not even like it feels like it's about escalating. It's like the news is always so dire all the time that, the joke is nothing ever happens, but it's actually nothing ever changes. And it's that people are desensitized to these types of over-the-top and sensationalist headlines where even if all of this is true, people have just been bogged down by so much information that they don't know how to take it anymore. The people who have made up their minds about these people made them up long ago. I don't buy that anybody here that thinks that Trump is a pedophile didn't already believe that there was something unfixable about him beforehand. They already believe that. The people that are hearing that Obama is a treasonous person already believed that Barack Obama ruined this country years ago. Whatever your opinion is, you're not swaying anybody to a different side on these issues. It's just more bluster for various news outlets to make money.
Well, I mean, I don't think that the motivation is to make news outlets profit, do you?
I think I'm saying that none of the people that are looking at this now are going to make anything out of this that's new. The only thing that's really going to be gained here is news outlets are going to make money by printing stuff about this. Nothing's going to change.
Do you think that there's any substance to any of this?
To the Barack Obama one, I have no idea. Obviously, if I haven't read through that document, but as for the Trump one, I don't know. I don't know for all of this stuff. I just know that most of the people that are going to consume this media have already made up their mind about these things. I saw people talking about it in the comments section. They said, look, I'm sick of Trump in the news. I'm sick of this, and that. But it doesn't matter. If they have that opinion, they had that opinion before.
The crazy thing is, on your point, we have been sitting here for years talking about one group of criminals or another. And the only thing that actually happened is Trump got arrested on felony charges in New York.
And then nothing happens. Nothing changed. He became president.
But then nothing changed because he became president. If he didn't become president, they would likely have continued prosecuting.
Indeed, the sentence, the appellate court is holding their sentence right now.
So when he's off, leaves office, he can be prosecuted further.
Not prosecuted, theoretically.
Yeah.
When Trump leaves office, the appellate court can then take the gavel and go guilty. And so they're just sitting on this, and it's been since September. It's been almost a year.
Yeah.
They've been sitting on this ruling. They haven't issued it, and people are like, "What are you doing?" You know what it is. I'll say, the court is in New York. Mm-hmm. These judges are probably saying, if we side with Trump, the state will destroy us.
Yeah.
If we side with the state, Trump will destroy us. Let's do nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to sit on it. And, to your point, people are in their silos. They're where they're not going to move. And they're also exhausted.
Yeah.
People are so exhausted about everything that's thrown at them every day. And the level of trust in my profession could not get any lower. I mean, I think it's -0. And by the way, that's on all sides of the aisle. Mm-hmm. That's not just Republicans. I think Republicans, conservatives, libertarians tend to trust the press less than Democrats. But even Democrats have felt the implication of the press not being honest with them about Biden, mm-hmm. right? And about his health and about his capabilities. So I think that to your point, a lot of people are looking at these stories and saying, well, the press is going to get a lot of clicks. They're going to get a lot of money from this, and it's not going to move the needle.
Phil, what do you think about this? What is your opinion on between the Obama story and the Trump story? Do you think there's substance to them?
So the Trump story, when it comes to Epstein stuff, it's all stuff that's actually out there already. So it's the media is trying to put stuff out, I think, because they're trying to associate Trump with Epstein as much as possible.
Being in the files, not being on the client list, being as different things in their...
Well, no, I mean, just the pictures, the new pictures that came out.
The 93 wedding photos.
Yeah, so yes, everyone kind of already knows that Trump and Epstein were friends throughout the 90s and into the aughts.
2003.
Yeah, so...
And then Trump said, This guy
Yes,
is.
but were they friends, or was it that Epstein was in the social circles of New York and
it.
bounced around?
That's it. That's a very New York thing.
Yeah.
It's sort of an association. You show up in events and no one's going to turn you down because they know they've seen you somewhere and you've been to something. I mean, he could have been a wedding crasher for all we know, right?
I mean,
But the point,
Did you guys see I'm sorry, did you see the photos of Howard Stern with Epstein?
No.
Yeah, they have pictures of Howard Stern hanging out together with Epstein.
It is-
and I want to clarify that they're in the same room at Trump's wedding. But you see how phrasing can manipulate people's expectations.
And it is media framing, because when the first documentaries came out about Epstein after all this stuff break after suicide, there was a Hulu documentary and then there was like an Amazon Prime documentary. Don't quote me on the second one. And both of them used the pictures of Epstein and Trump as the cover of the documentary, because that's a way to frame the story a certain way that's
Provocative.
beneficial to a particular political affiliation, right?
Right.
But
Absolutely.
But again, like these days, I think just the amount of evidence people would need. There would have to be video. Okay, this actually won't exist in 5 years, but there would have to be video evidence of the crime, and even then, somebody's gonna be like, "It's fake."
At this point, it's all AI. Nothing's
like
true.
nobody's
People
gonna
that have already made that, like you said, the people that have already made up their minds have made up their minds.
Yep.
And I don't think that whether it be video evidence, new pictures, testimony, someone swears they were there, people coming out saying that they were raped by Donald Trump, none of this actually matters when it comes to the people that have already made up their minds.
Right. They've definitely made up their minds. My book, Butler, right? I was there when the president got shot. I'm on TV yesterday, and the interviewer says, "Was he really shot?"
Yeah, insane.
And I'm like, a man died. The bullets went over my head. I was 4 feet away from him. I saw the blood streak across his face. I will not entertain a stupid question.
Also,
Insane.
I know more about the astronomer CEO than I know about Thomas Crooks, and that's
Very real.
concerning.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the thing. It's like everyone's waiting for like a smoking gun to be released, but the way social media works is any damning video or photo is on social media then 24 hours after the
The
story
police
breaks.
themselves.
So it's like it's not like there's really much out there that could be released. Everyone already kind of knows what's out there. It's just the way Twitter works.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Well, yeah, but as it pertains to Tulsi Gabbard, she's declassifying documents that show.
Yeah.
So on the Trump stuff, I get it. They could have released anything on Trump and Epstein at any point. Instead, they falsely accused them of rape. So I'm like, if they have to make up a rape story, I don't think they got anything on Trump in the Epstein files.
Look, they had power for 4 years. If there was something in the Epstein files, it would have been out there. They knew for a very long time there was a problem with Biden. They knew for a very long time there was a problem with Harris. They also understood that Biden was always a fluke. And he was likely not going to win. So they wanted, if there was truly something in there, they would have released it just to do anything to put the hammer on Trump. Look at all the lawfare that they used against him.
Well, I think I think the Biden admin didn't want to open the can of worms that was the Epstein files because they were confident that Letitia James was going to mop up the entire situation. And I think that was their game plan.
why?
Because
What would be the justification if what would be the justification to not if they had the info? If they had the info, we're aware that they had the info. Why wouldn't they?
Look, what's happening now is as soon as it gets brought up, it opens a huge can of worms. You have your buddies on there, you have your enemies on there. That turns into a huge situation where they were just confident they could just brush it under, have Letitia James mop it up, whoever the DA in Atlanta was.
But say for Hillary Clinton, say for the Clintons, not particularly Hillary, but say for the name Clinton, there wasn't really a lot of people that were associated with Barack Obama or the Biden administration that have been implicated, correct? Not that I'm aware of, at least.
But I mean, there's going to be a lot of donors on there, a lot of clandestine
Hollywood buddies.
assets.
But this is just you're assuming, right? But the point that I'm making is you're assuming that they don't have that those people would be on there, but we don't have any kind of evidence of that.
I know, it's just that's at least the perspective I see of why if there truly was something damning and they were insistent on getting Trump in jail, there is some names on there that would have created a huge mess for the Biden admin.
Well, let's jump to this story from CNN. Actually, this story is across the corporate press far and wide. Bondi briefed Trump that his name was in the Epstein files. We have this from the New York Times. Trump administration live updates. Attorney General alerted Trump his name appeared in the Epstein files. And then From Newsweek, White House reacts to report that Bondi told Trump he was in the Epstein files. This is the corporate press headline. I'm sure on CNN's television cable channel with all 17 people watching, this is the only thing they're talking about. Newsweek loves to bury the story. You got to scroll way down. On Wednesday, the Journal reported that Bondi and another top DOJ official informed the president in May that his name appeared in the Epstein files along with the names of other high-profile figures as part of what sources characterized as unverified hearsay. Senior DOJ officials also reportedly told Trump they did not plan to release more information about the investigation to the public in order to protect victims' identities and because the documents contained child sex abuse materials. Trump responded by saying he would defer to the DOJ's judgment on the matter. Notice how Donald Trump said release all credible information.
Yeah.
The hearsay may have been that Democrats and even Trump's own intelligence heads of intelligence included unsourced and unverified information that's going to make him look bad, and he doesn't want it released.
Yeah.
That's why he's calling it a Democrat hoax. It's not that Epstein isn't real. And again, I don't want to defend Trump on this one, and maybe he's in it, and I want to know what it says.
Right.
I think Trump is probably, the point he's making is they put unverified, unsourced BS, just like Russiagate, in the Epstein files implicating me.
Yes. So you notice he uses words like hoax and rigged, and people get, sometimes people get tired of it. However, he's got his finger, it's right on target, because a lot of these things are hoaxes and a lot of events are rigged. And we don't really see it. We don't see what he sees. But there are clues in the words that he uses, and he gives them to us.
They should release as much information as they can. I don't care if it incriminates Trump or if it makes Trump look bad. I don't think that there's anything actually incriminating when it comes to Trump. I don't think there's anything illegal that he's done. But he's probably worried about looking bad or being associated. Just put it all out there, because this is only making everything worse. I don't see, unless he's actually broken the law, there's that, which in that case, then there should be criminal prosecution. But if he hasn't, put everything out there, because this is just making everything worse.
If you want to play a game of power, okay, and you want to get involved in spycraft and all that stuff, Donald Trump's handling of this matter is one of the worst I have ever seen. Mm-hmm. Literally just put out fake information. Like, I'm not actually suggesting Trump should do this. I'm saying if the Trump administration was competent on the matter, based on what we know about the story, if we assume it to be true, like, let's just entertain a hypothetical Trump is doing this all on purpose. It's 5D chess. Fine, whatever. I doubt it. This is not how you handle if there's incriminating evidence or embarrassing information in the files. He's drawing more attention to it, making the whole thing worse. He could literally instruct everybody just to never talk about it again, and it would go away.
You think so?
People are already bored of it.
Yeah.
And it's a massive story that needs to be exposed. I'm with Massey and Ro Khanna. We should have these documents published. But Trump is just fanning the flames to keep it going.
Why do you think that is?
Incompetence.
I mean, like, is the idea here that he's this is the most incompetent thing he's ever done?
That's
fascinating, because it appears that this is one of the only times he's on the backside of an 80-20 issue.
I don't think that it's incompetence, because he's not a stranger to messaging. Like, he's really good at messaging. He's really good at marketing himself. I don't know what the deal is. I think the most likely scenario is that he doesn't want to be associated with it, and so he doesn't want the information to come out because it associates him with it. But I don't think that it's an incompetence thing, because he's so good with messaging everywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy that stood up and said, fight, fight, fight after he got shot.
Yeah.
This is a guy that understands image. And to your point, but a little more nuanced, I think, look, he is the president. He's been the president before. Even he has seen the damage and the consequences of a fragment of a sentence used in a CIA or in a President Obama's thing. A fragment of a sentence, a fragment of him being associated with Epstein can turn into being blown up for months or days, whatever. And so I suspect that might be part of it. I don't suspect that he's in there in a damaging way, but he is all about image, and he's all about, I mean, remember during COVID, he never wore a mask.
Yeah.
He absolutely never wore a mask. When the day after he was shot, he called me the next morning and asked if I was okay. But I talked to him 7 times that day. But he also, at the end of the day, I said, why did you say fight, fight, fight? And he said, well, I wasn't Donald Trump in that moment. I was representing the United States of America. I had to project strength. I had an obligation in that role to project strength, all the grit and the exceptionalism and the never back down that we're supposed to stand for. And so when you think that way, when you want to project a certain image, not just of yourself, but you take it to the next level and you want to project it about the country, that I think that gives a little more insight as to maybe why he doesn't want this out, even if the likelihood that it's not something in there that would be damaging to him. It would just be annoying.
Unverified hearsay could be some serious stuff.
It could be.
And they'll make the argument that you can't prosecute someone on unverified hearsay, but the hearsay could be like Trump was with underage girls and Epstein doing who knows what. And so Trump is going to be like, you can't release that, even though it's not going to be strong enough evidence for any kind of prosecution. Court of public opinion doesn't work that way. But again, that being said, it doesn't explain how Trump is handling it the way he is, which is the stupidest mishandling of any kind of story I've ever seen.
This has been going on for how long now? Like, this is dragged out over our news cycle is so lightning fast now. The fact that this has dominated the news cycle for as long as it has is the proof that it's being handled poorly.
Well, can I just tell you guys one thing? And this might shock you, but this is the way I do reporting. I go out and I talk to people. And when this first broke, the first place I was at was a rodeo. You can't get more centrally located with people that are Trump supporters or more patriotic. Have y'all ever been to a big rodeo? It's literally the best time ever. Anyways, I asked 72 people. Not one person cared about this to the level that you see on social media.
Mm-hmm. This is
and I often feel as a reporter that I straddle 2 different worlds, right? I straddle a world where the people that just regular people live, exist, play, and think about what's important, and then I straddle the other world, which is very online, and it's really a challenge to figure out, well, what is the most meaningful? What's having the most impact?
This is that I've been saying this a lot, and I catch a lot of hell from a lot of people that are extremely online. Yeah. To normal people, this does not register. They
not at all.
Do not care.
Not at all.
Hold on. The things that are important are kitchen table issues. Yep. The things that are going to matter come the midterms are kitchen table issues, and the things that are going to matter come the next presidential election are kitchen table issues. The economy is the most important thing to everybody all the time, whether they want to admit it or not. The people that are online, that are seeing this stuff, that are watching podcasts, they'll make a lot of noise, and they're very passionate about it, but it is a small segment.
To be fair, okay, I pulled up.
I can always the look.
I pulled up.
It was a look.
I pulled up Google Trends.
Okay,
and the Epstein files is trending.
Yeah,
rivaling Candace Owens.
And that's another thing. I bet you
another person nobody's talking
cares.
About at a rodeo.
So the top trends on Google as of right now for the United States: Brian Kohberger with 500,000 searches. Right. Arsenal versus Milan with 100,000.
I respect
Candace
that.
Owens with 50,000. And then the Epstein files at 50,000, which the Epstein files is the 4th biggest trend in the country. So people are searching for it, but let's be honest, at 10% the rate of Brian Kohberger.
Yeah, that was pretty riveting today.
He's that murderer.
Okay, yes.
Right? That was pretty riveting. Test,
Moscow, Idaho.
To be fair, the Tesla. So this is actually not correct. Actually, it's number 5. Tesla earnings report has got 100,000 searches. So if we go by pure search volume, Epstein files actually is number 6. Heat advisory has 100,000 searches.
That's what people think about.
Well, I mean, that's why I say, like, for me, the priority is kitchen table issues, Obama conspiracy stuff, then Epstein stuff, and it's literal political scandal triage. If Trump doesn't get his agenda through, then people don't vote in the midterms, Democrats gain power, and Epstein gets away with it. If Obama and his cohort aren't held accountable for Crossfire Hurricane, Russiagate stuff, Democrats will fight and regain power, and then Epstein gets away with it. Then, after those things are locked and secured, we can talk about releasing the Epstein files, because I will tell you this. With Trump's resistance and everything that the Trump campaign, or I'm sorry, the campaign, the administration is saying about it, and Trump himself, you will get nowhere near a single word with Democrats in power. They were in power under Obama when this was going on. They said nothing. It never came up. No activists cried about it. No one brought it up. You were called a conspiracy theorist if you even mentioned it. Then Trump gets in and the story breaks. Epstein dies. I did a little air quote there. Biden gets in. Democrats don't care anymore. Trump is back in. He's begrudging. He doesn't want the info released, but we are closer now than we've been before. So choose your battles.
I want to see the Epstein list stuff come out just so that way we can put it to bed. I would love to, if there are prosecutions that are necessary, make the arrests necessary. The people that have broken the law, put them in jail. And then the people that are completely obsessed with it can stop worrying about it. Let them have their heads. Put the people that are that have broken the law in jail.
I want to get to the bottom of this, and I don't care who's at the top.
I don't care either. We
got a story from the New York Post. House panel votes to subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton over possible links to Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh, my God. It's all unraveling, isn't it? And so, as I only half-jokingly say Civil War, honest question, you guys. If the power structures of the political system in this country are accusing each other of high crimes, where do we go politically? I mean, if we as a country exist where the Democrats say Trump is a PETA who worked with Epstein and then do nothing about it, nothing happens. It's like, do you really believe that to be true? And if Trump accuses Obama of treason and then Obama never gets arrested and other Democrats go to jail, we're just basically all supposed to sit here and pretend that this country is in this disheveled state and just keep operating? Are we supposed to keep living normal lives under the belief that they have told us that these crimes are ongoing?
The thing about Obama that I find most interesting, and I remember I covered him, interviewed him, and when Trump got into office, I remember how robustly my profession questioned him, pushed him. Every day was a new scandal, and I always thought, I don't mind. He should face robust questions, right? But that never happened with Obama.
Nope.
Never, ever happened. You never, ever got to the bottom of anything. He was treated very, very differently than Trump was, and so was Biden to that matter. And so as things are, when it comes to Obama and the idea that there was some sort of conspiracy, people are more willing to believe that because they don't believe he was ever properly vetted, ever. And what do I mean by that? Like anything that he ever did was great. It's sunshine and flowers. We're gonna, everything's gonna be awesome. And so. I think that there is a real curiosity out there to find out what the heck really was going on and what was going on with Brennan and Comey, right? And these intricate sort of storylines that are so intertwined. We need more intellectual curiosity in my profession to push this.
Well, but they're lying intentionally.
Yeah.
It's not an issue of intellectual curiosity. It's that they're intentionally misleading on these stories. Right.
No, right. So the story never happens because nobody asks the question.
The way the media works is like you'll see a headline that says Donald Trump throws dog out window. And then you're like, oh, my God. And then your liberal aunt is going like, I can't believe he would do that. And then when you actually read the story, it's like the building was on fire and Trump ran in risking his life to save the dog. But as the fire destroyed the stairs, his only option was to gently toss the dog onto a firefighter, net to save it.
That happened at the last year at the assassination. They said like he fell down on stage.
Yeah, after loud noises.
That was
loud noises.
That was the last bit for me. Like I'd been so disconnected outside of doing this show, like, I feel very disconnected a lot of the time from politics, far more than I was 5 years ago. And that was just one of those things, like, just threw me right back into everything that
Guys,
I hate about the media.
No. They've never taken this down. Here's YouTube, ABC7 Chicago. Donald Trump whisked off stage at rally after loud noises ring through crowd.
He got tinnitus.
I was laying on the ground.
He's got blood on his face in the picture in the video.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, there's a loud noise, Tim.
I was laying on the ground. I had only been 4 feet away from him when he got shot.
Really? You were that close?
4 feet away from him when he got shot. And the firepower went right over my head. And I'm laying on the ground, and this alert comes up with the story that he's whisked away. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm just had 2 rounds gunfire go over me. A man is dead 20 feet away from me. And that's the story. That is the moment.
Here you go. Snopes. Fact checked. CNN initially published headline, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. True. CNN actually ran that headline. You know what? I was we were in Wisconsin getting ready for the RNC event. The first thing is my phone's blowing up. It's ringing off the hook, and I open it. And it was before we knew if Trump was alive. Literally the moment the shots went out, people were texting me like, shots fired. And I'm getting like DMs, and I pull it up, and I'm watching the videos and waiting for someone to post the aftermath. And then we start seeing these come out minutes later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody watching knew exactly what happened.
Yeah. So that day, I was supposed to interview him. And he wanted to see me. I was supposed to interview him before then, and then it became that I was going to fly to Bedminster and do the interview on the plane. Before he went out of the rally, 5 minutes before he shot, he wants to say hi to me. So I'm like one of the last people he talked to before he went out. And the next morning, he calls me at dark 30 and asks, Salena, are you okay? Is your daughter okay? And gee, I'm really, really sorry that we didn't get to do that interview.
Yeah. I think I know what damning information may be in those Epstein files about Trump. It may be that Trump was actually, take a look at this, friends with Bill Clinton. Ooh, could you imagine if people found out?
Yeah.
I think they were friends, right? The Trumps and the Clintons.
Wouldn't it be like the ultimate letdown if after it all ends, he gets like locked up for real estate fraud because of the Epstein files? Like he did some shady, he wanted to buy Little St. James, and that's what he goes to jail for, real estate
It's like
fraud.
It's a quote from him saying, "I knew that my private penthouse at Trump Tower was not 30,000 square feet." That's the only quote that's in there. It's like, oh, we got him. Everybody knows.
Well, it was like 2004. He did have a bidding, like after the split between him and Epstein, they did have a bidding war over a property in Palm Beach. Like 2004.
Yes,
so they were
that's
rivals
true.
at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
So it's like they went, and then all of a sudden now there's these fierce rivals.
And
I
all
like
this-
the idea that Trump wants to take him down just because he's mad about the bidding war.
I hate that guy. And look, this was all coming up again because there was a clip going around of, because Stephen Colbert is throwing his hissy fit about being, losing $40 million a year. And they were posting this clip from several years ago of Claire Danes on the show,
Yes.
where she accidentally admits that like the intel agencies are in contact with the media. And then Stephen Colbert's trying to shut her up, like, let's move on.
Yeah, he changed the conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely immediate.
And that's the stuff that it's like, I can't anymore. I can't with this stuff.
The thing about my profession, largely in network news, is that they all live in the same super zip codes in either New York or around Washington, D.C. And they all, sort of hang out. They go to the same bars. Their kids are on the same soccer fields. And they all intertwine and use each other as sources. And so it is difficult to separate them from each other and not understand that they're often working together to get stories out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the fact that all of them live in the same, like you said, the same zip codes. That used to be kind of the excuse for the left-leaning bias, right? It used to be where the people that were in urban areas, they were like, well, of course the media has a bit of a liberal bias. They all live in
Right.
cities, but they try to be fair. Even though they called Middle America flyover country, they're still trying to be fair.
Right.
And I think that with the election of Barack Obama and then the election of Donald Trump, really is what made it clear that it's not actually about just that they have a left-wing bias. It's that they wanted that access to the Democratic Party and to the establishment, and they wanted to feel like they were actually part of the policy-making apparatus of the United States. Unelected, but they were the mouthpiece of the Democrat Party and unofficially the mouthpiece of the administration.
Yeah, and that's the challenge being a reporter that lives out in the middle of Western Pennsylvania. Because I have very little access to traditional power when you think of presidents and lawmakers, but to me the real power is the people I cover. And it's people in Erie, Pennsylvania that decided this election.
Yep.
It's not anybody that's having drinks at a bar in D.C. that decided anything. And I think that detachment and inability to control the people in Erie, Pennsylvania is what has led to some of the things that we have seen happen to Trump, because he is such a disruptor. Right? And I've never understood why we didn't think that disruption would eventually come to American politics. Everything that we do is disruption, right? Think about AI. That disrupts everything. But it also pulls us together. In Western Pennsylvania, that silver you were talking about, and where AI is going to be made, what's going to be made in Western Pennsylvania, because we have the natural gas to fuel it, and they need so much gas, right? So everything, that power base is actually being taken away from them, and it's going to be the people in the middle of the country that make the AI, the data power centers.
Yeah.
Let's jump to this next story from the Daily Mail. It's true. The White House is making phone calls. Now, at least there's a couple people who have claimed they've had private meetings with people in the administration on the issue of Epstein. Of course, the Mail buries the story, which is pertinent to the public, but they go on to mention way down below, Tim Dillon, now this story most people know, met with J.D. Vance. And Vance said they do not have videos of any powerful person in a compromising position. That's the party line before marking with skepticism. That's the party line they're going with. What I told Vance is that if you don't disclose everything, you're done. Nobody will support you guys. You are fully and completely part of this cover-up if everything doesn't come out. I think it paralyzes their presidency, said Dillon. Alex Jones appeared in his podcast on Monday to say that he, too, has been contacted by the White House. I've had the White House call up and be like in the last week, what do you want? Jones said, I want you to do what you were elected to do. Dillon replied, they want this to go away, but it's not going to go away until they disclose the information they have. The Daily Mail can also report that White House reached out to Charlie Kirk, the highly influential leader of the youth movement organized under TPUSA. I am not minimizing this, Kirk said in his podcast. I am just the messenger here. I am simply the interlocutor. The young men and the Gen Z audience that I represent, they are flaming mad about this stuff. Kirk explained the conservative people he speaks to refuse to drop the issue because they want to go after the deep state of the government. Trump, increasingly irritated at the fixation of erstwhile allies, picked up the phone to Kirk. A day later, Kirk appeared to backpedal. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. Now, I want to clarify this. He was referring to on the show at that one moment. Basically, like when we talk about stories and say, okay, we're going to wrap that story for now and move on, they're making it seem like he was saying, I'm done with the issue.
Right.
He wasn't. They're going to mention that Bondi and Blanche said in the coming days they would be speaking with Ghislaine Maxwell. And you guys get the point. For his part, Cernovich told the Daily Mail he had not been leaned on by anyone in the White House to stop talking about Epstein, and added that he would refuse to do so if asked. He warned this might be the only issue where the MAGA base will truly assert itself. On about any other issue, Trump can drive the train wherever he wants, not on Epstein. I do believe the White House is probably making phone calls to various influencers. We are not included in that. Nobody's called me. Why not, huh? Am I not
I'm not an
enough?
influencer.
How come they don't call me? You say, Tim, why, and I get people commenting saying Tim got the call, and I'm like, I wish.
I thought they passed a note when he was in the White House briefing room to give this to Tim.
They called Candace Owens about calling Bridget McCrone a man, but they won't call me about this stuff. Come on. They didn't invite me to this either. And I can't remember who I was talking to. I was talking to another personality. And when the story broke, literally the day of, I was talking to Cernovich as well as a couple others, and I got some of the information that they had put out before the embargo was lifted. And I was speaking with another journalist, and we were both kind of like, yeah, they wouldn't invite us something like this because we wouldn't adhere to an embargo on something like that. And if you didn't, it would have busted their campaign. Because what they did was they brought everybody in, gave them binders, and said, wait until after the press conference with Keir Starmer before you talk about this. Then they shuttled them out the door in front of all of the fawning press, where they all took pictures of them with the binders. Then they said, don't talk about it for several hours. If those individuals took that binder and said, I will not embargo this, and opened it up, they would have been like, this is all publicly available information. You've given me nothing. And it would have immediately spoiled. If one person, one influencer went in there and said, this stuff is already been publicly disclosed and unredacted, all the rest of them would have been like, whoa, I'm not doing this. So they chose the people they thought wouldn't play hardball. Cernovich, to his credit, is actually in the photos walking away. Yep. It appears he's trying not to be caught because he's like, I want to read this and be respectful. And then once he did, again, he contacted, I reached out. I think I reached out to him or he reached out to me. I can't remember. I think he reached out to me. Yeah. And was like, yo, check it out almost right away. And we were like, okay, I don't know what's in those binders yet, but we got this letter that said that the information was being withheld by SDNY. And then sure enough, I think the first person to post the letter was Benny Johnson. Almost immediately now, and everyone laughed because they're like, oh, Benny broke the embargo. But now the embargo's broken, it's fair game. But I think, the people they brought in, I don't want to disparage any of these people. I don't, they are who they are. I think Cernovich does great. I'm a big fan of Cernovich, actually. I respect him a lot.
He's awesome.
But there are a handful of people that are smiling and dancing around and waving these things in the air, seemingly more excited that they're included than that they're going to be part of any kind of accountability, of which we never got any. So, it looks like, at least to a certain degree, there is evidence that the White House is making phone calls to people to try and control the narrative. They're very upset about this.
Yeah, I mean, the Cernovich thing, that was just such a self-own if you're like a White House press person, because that's like, if you're thinking of the Epstein story, Cernovich is like one of the top guys. I mean, it'd be like getting Greta Van Susteren to like drop the white girl in Aruba, whatever that case was. It's like, that's like the thing. He's not going to drop that. So that was like a total cell phone. And then, yeah, like you said, the other guys that came along and they're smiling. It's like, yo, this is a case about like molestation, like child crimes, crimes involving children. And they're like smiling and just like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like it's a red carpet. And I'm just
It was like an F you to the press.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, this is like something super heinous, which everyone knows.
That's the problem. I was talking about this the last week I was on. I was like, look, people, there's like a disconnect once you start working in this medium. There's a disconnect between the heinousness of crimes or the seriousness of the policies and the things that are being discussed and your ability to relay that information. Back in the day when it was through corporate press, you had a guy in a suit, it was all vetted through however many sources. Now, most of it was narrative bullshit, as we know, that, was fed to people in a certain way. But nowadays, it's very hard for people to tell the difference between what they're looking at through social media influencers and somebody who's like a news influencer. Right. And it just doesn't feel like it takes that same rigorous tone, even if we know that the rigorous tone of old was all mostly just corporate approved slop as well. But it feels different now. And for those people who are in this sphere, sometimes you lose sight of the fact that what you're looking at affects real lives.
Yeah.
Real people were harmed. Real things happened.
And like normal Americans aren't in on the bit.
Yeah.
They're like, we want to figure out what happened. Like, I get it's like a middle finger to the press or whatever. It's like, we don't really care what your relationship with the press is like. We want to figure out what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still of the opinion that they've got to release as much information as they can.
So, okay. So you were saying that the people that you talked to, you said 72 people, you asked them about it, all of them said...
That's a small portion.
Yeah, but they said that it doesn't matter to them. They don't care. They don't believe it anyways.
They don't, it's not that
they don't believe
care that kids got hurt. Like
they don't believe that it's true.
Yeah, it's not that. It's just that it doesn't rise to the top of...
Well, they don't see how it affects them. That's really what it boils down to.
That's as you can take that as simply as why they've never bought into the whole press and push on climate change.
Yeah.
That that doesn't affect their lives. It's not that they don't care about the climate. They do. They don't want the earth to, to catch on fire or whatever.
It depends on, I think when it comes to climate, I'm not trying to derail here, but I think when it comes to climate change stuff, that really depends on your age. Like I remember when Al Gore put out the Inconvenient Truth in 2006, and all of the world was supposed to be underwater by now. Like the world was supposed to have ended. And when I was a kid, when I was, in the 80s, when I was a kid, it was the coming ice age and how bad everything was going to freeze. So you have to.
I think Democrats should roll with the pole shift thing, and just start being like, yes, we need more solar panels and electric vehicles because the axis, the Earth is tilting.
Yeah.
And to your point also, like I imagine that if you ask those same people about like the Obama scandal, they'll say, maybe I think he's guilty, but it doesn't really change my life. It doesn't put money in my pocket. It doesn't change the economy.
And I always thought he did that anyways.
Yeah. So,
right. I always believed he did that anyways. And so I'm not shocked, right?
Yeah, well, you have this thing where it's like with normal Americans, they've seen cover up after cover up after big story that doesn't go anywhere. So they're at the point where they're just like, I'm sure they believe everything that happened in the Epstein's, but it's like they know they're not going to get anything. So what's the point of clamoring on about it? There's bigger fish to fry.
Right. And they've got real problems that they're really dealing with. And this is something that happened far away. And they don't trust that my profession has comported it in a way that is, has the intellectual vigor that it deserved.
Yeah.
And so they just have no trust in my profession. I mean, it really comes down to that.
So then I have a question, and I'd like to hear everyone's input on this. Gen Z is the generation that cares the most about the Epstein stuff, if you go by polling data and stuff. Gen Z's also the generation that has the most economic anxiety. They have the least actual material possessions. Why is it that Gen Z has the most significant problems when it comes to the economy, but this is also the thing that resonates with them the most?
Because let me pull up the story real quick. We have this story from Newsweek.
Oh.
Trump has given back all gains he made with Gen Z in 6 months. Now, the first thing I want to say is there's a bunch of views on this. CBS News YouGov found that Trump's net approval among 18 to 29-year-olds has all but collapsed from 55 in February to 28% in July. What we usually say in the news media when we're tracking things like this, if you're being honest, is that this is static. This is a blip. It's not something to take seriously. When polls deviate so substantially from all other polls, mention them, but give pause, because errors happen a lot.
Like Iowa.
That wasn't, I don't know if that was an error. That being said, I don't believe Trump has lost Gen Z. And one of the arguments as to why Gen Z would be upset with Trump if this poll was correct is because he's not going far right enough.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing is like, Zoomers, much more emotional. We'll say we love Trump one day, and then it's all over the next day. So it's like when a pollster calls you, it just depends on like what Trump said that morning.
It depends on what TikTok told you to watch,
or that as well. Yeah. And then also it's like Tim said, I like people on the left are like celebrating, like, see, finally, what happened to the conservative generation? I'm like, you don't understand. These are people that are falling to the right of Trump that are like, whoa, he's like folding on like the farmer immigration raids. Like, what? I wanted 10 million people gone.
Yep. But this is a huge point. Trump said numerous times, the farmers are good people. They've been here for years, and they need to work, and the hospitality as well. And immediately these people were like, boo.
Yeah,
like, no.
Literally.
Because we're talking about Gen Z's birthright being given away to non-citizens.
Yeah, we have a bit more urgency. Okay, yes, we get the label of being panicking sometimes, but we do feel like our inheritance was stolen to a large degree. So anytime that we see anything going against Trump's promise to sort of reclaim, make America great again, we take it a little bit more emotionally than older
you're
generations.
catastrophizing.
But then why? So then back to my question: why is it that they care the most about Epstein, and they care when they have the most economic stuff to worry about?
Because the girls were their age.
Okay.
It's that simple. They can see themselves in those girls' ages. And in terms of the economy, I would say that they're happy with how things are going with the economy, in particular in my state, right? You see what's happened. I mean, people in my state are very, very happy with just what you see what happened with the U.S. Steel.
Well, you've got a really business-friendly Democrat governor.
Yeah.
And
two good senators and the president, like they were just.
Is Fetterman still popular in Pennsylvania?
Oh, wildly popular.
Okay.
Do not believe what my profession writes.
Okay.
He is wildly popular. And so is McCormick, and so is Trump, and so is Shapiro.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys tend to work together with job creation. And to your point about economic issues always are the most important things to people.
Tate, why do you think it is that Gen Z cares as much as they do about this case?
I think it's because it was the first and so far the only scandal from the U.S. government that's been heavily publicized. It's like our JFK.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the main focus on it. And then also because of social media, we learned a lot more about it rapidly versus like in the 60s or 70s when a scandal broke out. It took a lot of time.
The first thing I thought was like, this is their first exposure to the idea of corruption being rooted, with the idea when Trump took office that they were going to bring in a new way of doing things with the government. People who've been alive for any length of time who know that nothing changes in the government take that idea with perhaps more of a grain of salt, whereas with Gen Z, because this was like maybe their first experience with that they're seeing that they made these promises aren't being met. I don't know if it's necessary, if I buy that it's necessarily that they identified with them as much is that they identified with the message that he initially had, and they feel like they're going back on that message, and then they're kind of just making the same excuses that every administration before had made, and that, like a lot of us who may be more black-pilled than others, that nothing ever changes.
And I also think Zoomers are really good at dehumanizing people that they don't know personally. So like with the Epstein case, I think
That is true.
I think we're overrating the empathy of people seeing a name and a face through a screen. Because if you just scroll Instagram Reels for 10 minutes, you're going to see some of the most brutal criticism of strangers you'll ever see in your entire life. So it's like, I wish that were the case, but I really don't think it's like an empathy thing, because I think even me, just because if that's how we grew up, we just see like, oh, well, that doesn't happen to me. That kind of stuff doesn't happen to me or my friends. That's something that happens far away, and there's not really much empathy. Yeah. It's just because we've been like, your brains are just completely overcooked on social media. You're meeting like millions of people on a daily basis through your reels, through different names appearing. You're meeting millions of people. You're not gonna clock them all as human beings.
So let's just think about my old generation. Think about some of the things that we've gone through.
Which generation are you?
So it's actually called the Generation Jones. It's in between Boomer and X.
Oh.
We're not really Boomers, and we're not really X. And it's called Jones Generation because you want what the Joneses have, right? It was that. So. In my lifetime, I saw a president shot. I saw his brother shot. I saw Martin Luther King shot. I saw George Wallace shot. Malcolm X, Ronald Reagan. I saw the 1960s guys. Let me just tell you, that was some wild stuff. and so I understand your point. But I still think there's an empathetic quality to your generation. I see it all the time.
I mean, yeah, I think to each other, we're probably, I would even argue, more empathetic than a lot of previous generations, like to people you know personally. The problem is we don't know that many people personally because their social structures are completely busted.
Is it true that there are Gen Zers throwing their phones away?
No.
I didn't believe it for a second.
Propaganda.
Oh, God, no, that is not happening.
They were like that. There were a group of Gen Z that have started putting their phones and leaving them and going out in the world. I'm like, no, they're not. They don't know what the world is.
There was a thing going on for a while where influencers were buying dumb phones and then making videos about using dumb phones.
Their smartphone.
Yeah, and they're like, and then they're coming back like shaking with withdrawals. They're like, I did it. I went 3 hours without my phone, and holy crap. But, it was like when they did like quiet walking, which was just walking without your phone.
Yeah. It's grim out there.
When it comes to the way that Gen Z has matured. I think that the trauma that they've seen in their life, for lack of a better word. I mean, they saw the 2008 economic crash when they were little. I mean, how old are you when that happened?
I was 7.
7. Yeah. So you may not have known the repercussions, or maybe it didn't affect you, but there was a lot of people whose families lost everything.
We had Rush Limbaugh in the car. I was fired up.
So
let's go after him.
But there's a lot of Gen Z that had really bad experiences because of that, because their families had bad experiences because of that, and then they had 10 years later, they had COVID, or 11 years, 12 years later, they had COVID, which really destroyed their social lives.
All their social structure.
It tore. They didn't get a ton of the things that kids normally get, and I think that then they had the whole, then they found out that COVID was a lie, there was so much around COVID that was a lie, not the actual, not whether or not COVID existed, but like all of the things that went along with COVID were a lie. Then they watched the whole Joe Biden entire presidency was a lie. So, I mean, I guess that it makes perfect sense that they're cynical. But I don't know that why they still have so much, like, how much they have so much, I don't know what the word for it is. So they feel like Epstein matters to them more than anyone else.
Well, because
more than any other generation.
There's no centrist in Gen Z, because what I can at least respect.
It's all Zoomer, Waffen, or communists, right?
Well, like, what I can at least respect about a communist is they've also identified that the current whatever's going on is not working whatsoever. Yep. So it's like, okay, they're evil, Marxists. It's like they're trying to kill me. But at least, they have also identified that there's an issue. And that's kind of the problem. That's why people like Epstein, there's no one's going to have a moderate take on Epstein.
You're just describing the basic process by which we got the Spanish Civil War or the Russian Revolution. It is not. People assume it's like there's a group of people sitting in a room and they're all like, we're moderates. And then some catastrophe happens, some political thing happens, and they go, I've been awakened to communism. No, what happens is younger generations start to overwrite the older generations with more and more extremist ideology until they're fighting.
Oh, yeah. When you see like a moderate, like a Zoomer moderate influencer on TikTok, you're just like, oh, here we go. It's like seeing a Mormon come to your door. You're just like, oh, what do you want?
And I imagine like being Gen Z, having to hear like millennials tell you to put your mask on, and Barack Obama's they're just like, I hate you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, I see and I understand the importance of like Zoran speaking directly to the voter. That's resonating to a degree, because it's like it's kind of cutting past the overdone speeches and everything, because like the millennials, I think, was a generation of the actual like High School Musical, like the big speech, and we're gonna win everyone over. I don't know if Zoomers really have that. I think they want like irony and kind of like just straight talk.
Zoomers aren't gonna have anything. They're basically like every single piece of content and culture that's been developed right now is for millennials.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's
we were talking about this earlier. I was like, we got Scrubs coming back, Malcolm in the Middle, King of the Hill. They're
Married with Children too.
No,
I might have. Maybe what I saw was fake, but
Ed O'Neill's like 900 years old.
That's my generation.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I think it was you, Tate. You were like, we got the good video games. Or was that Kellen?
Kellen was like, we have good video. I mean, we have Fortnite.
He was like, we got the video game. It was like, nah, bro. And then I had to show them the Mario Brothers movie from the 90s and Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Prime Fortnite laps.
95 Mortal Kombat.
They're making a Fortnite movie?
They should. I want to be in it. It's going to be Jack Black. They're going to roll him out for every video game.
But what's kind of crazy is, culturally, we have talked about how when millennials grew up, we had this insane library of games. Constant new game was coming out: Mega Man 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Mega Man X, X2, X3. And then they started making there's so many different games. You're waiting for the next one to come out. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for Gen Z, it's like you've got Minecraft and Fortnite. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you get one GTA game every
20
generation. Yeah, you could like start a family in between each game.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's
secret families.
I have 2 kids that are millennials. Very conservative. Yeah.
How much of this causes people to just like when Phil asked me earlier, he was like, so what do you think about Barack Obama and Trump? Like, I'm so checked out of all of it. Like, I don't believe or trust that any accountability is going to happen. I don't have any faith that anything is actually ever going to change. So for me, I've checked out and gone the other way, which is that it's like the way that I can make the world a better place is like I'm getting married is to be a good husband. hopefully have a family very soon, and take care of the people in my life, in my corner of the world. And the rest of this stuff, as important as it is, like when we were talking about last week, about like if you delete X off your phone, does anything really change? Yes, it matters. A terrorist could be in your neighborhood and somebody could be posting, there's a terrorist. But for most of the time, it's like you have to focus on what you can do in your corner of the world, and the rest of it is just noise.
You're getting like Faraday bags for your phones,
basically,
and burying computers in microwaves underground for the solar flare that's coming to wipe out all of humanity.
I have Faraday bags for many things, so just saying.
I mean,
a lot of people live that life.
Yeah.
I think
I run into them every day.
Yeah.
This may be pessimistic, but right now, the most logical outcome of what we're in is the collapse of the political system in one form or another. It could mean that, we've had this happen before in light ways and crazy ways. The crazy way is civil war. The light way is all the incumbents are voted out of Congress, and there's like a
We've
purge.
done that.
I think it was like the 50s, right?
Yeah, we've done that several times. Several cycles we've done that.
Everyone's just like, everybody out.
But also,
but again, to the point where the Obama administration, Democrats, the Obama cohorts, and the corporate press are calling Trump a pedo or insinuating it heavily, and then Trump is calling him a traitor. It's like, pick one. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have to also remember a lot of this stuff has happened before. You think about Jefferson when Washington was president. He put in his Secretary of State office a guy that ran a newspaper and ran shit about Washington that was detrimental to him. So we have always
But
played.
to this degree?
Huh?
To this degree?
Yeah,
Like
you should
accusing him
look it up.
Accusing him of treason against the United States?
I'm not. Treason may have been used.
Wow.
It was pretty bad. Go take a look at the election between Adams and Jefferson. That
Fake
was
news media back then.
crazy.
One of them called the other hermaphrodite.
Yes.
takes like
See?
8 days
Really?
to get there, and they're like, hey!
They're writing very, very
so
impassioned letters to the
history-
editor.
History doesn't always repeat itself, but it rhymes a lot. Do you know who else was shot in Butler? George Washington.
Oh, wow.
Trump was not the only president that was shot in
Butler.
If Abraham Lincoln lost the Civil War, he would go down in history as one of the worst presidents of all time. Not for losing, but for violating the Constitution and arresting his political opponents.
Yep.
But he won, and Congress retroactively just agreed with him. All the illegal things that he did to preserve the Union, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we have gone through some crazy things. We didn't, sometimes we get really frustrated and we don't think things are transparent. But honestly, the way we police ourselves on X and on social media, there's a lot of transparency out there, and we know more about what is happening as opposed to the people, in Washington's time or Lincoln's time, right? You just didn't know.
Well, I think a lot of the kind of ambivalence that people feel, maybe this is just my own projection here, but a lot of the ambivalence that is felt just comes from the fact that there's so much information all the time. Like back in the day, you had your 3 or 4 trusted news outlets that people foolishly agreed with, and they got their information. If they said somebody's a bad guy, they're like, oh, this is awful. Now you're bombarded with endless information about endless people being bad guys, and you can't focus on all of it. Nobody has the time or the brain power to do that. Back in the day, you literally offloaded your agency to this network to say, I trust them, therefore it must be true. Nobody's doing that anymore. You might have like a couple of influencers or I guess correspondents or people who work in this space that you've followed them for a period of time, so you're going to take them at their word because their track record has held up. But for the most part, people aren't willing to do that anymore. Again, this might be projection on my own part. So the idea is like, I just can't care at all because nobody has the time to do the due diligence on literally everything that you're being told is awful now.
Well, and just to prove how disruptive just the news or our cultural curators, right? The power that's been dispersed. Let's just think last week. I live in the middle of Pennsylvania, went to community college, and my book becomes the #1 New York Times bestseller. The same day that Colbert loses that not just he loses his job, the whole entire Tonight Show's gone.
Yeah.
that and
Late Show, right?
The Late Show.
The Late Show. Sorry, Late Show, Tonight Show, Tomorrow Show, whatever. I mean, that just shows how how disruptive the time that we're in. And it's all of our cultural curators. It's not just legacy media. Look what you guys do here. Look how many people that you get to come to listen to this and learn something new. It's very, very deep. Probably got a lot more people listening to this than watching the nightly news.
Colbert needs to
So, but
what do you get? What do you?
We do like 800,000. Colbert was getting 3 million, but it was largely 70-year-olds.
Yeah.
And then we get like 800,000, and it's mostly like 30-year-olds.
Those
And that's the buying power right there. Those are the people that, and all of our.
The problem is that Gen Z doesn't have any money, and Boomers do. So
18 to 49 used to be the go-to demographic because there was buying power.
Right.
And
Now
the
the
upper half of that.
Now the problem is our demo is like 30 to 50. We do have we do have Gen Z watch, but they're broke, so we can't really sell sponsorships to them, and we don't have a lot of the older viewers the way cable TV does, and all they're selling to them is like, to be honest, it's like that face cream for men and drugs. Yeah. I'm not kidding. That's what they do.
Colbert needs to they need to go back to hating each other, like Leno and Letterman.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
that's what,
we
they
don't
need
have
to
any
go
of
pro
that
wrestling.
competitive spirit.
Did you
right?
see they were all standing in solidarity with him? Like
Nobody
Jimmy
wants
Kimmel should have been like,
solidarity.
"Oh, you fucking loser!"
America wants you to compete against each other.
sucks
right?
to suck.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Speaking of WWE, let's jump to this story from Newsweek. Candace Owens sued by Macron over claim Bridget is in fact a man. That's the story.
what's defamatory about that?
So this is the question I had. If in fact Bridget Macron is a transgender woman, how is that defamatory? Honest question. Now, obviously, if you're a conservative and you're a female and someone says you're a guy, you're going to be like, how dare you? That's insulting. And you would say it's bad for my reputation. But the argument for them is they're basically saying it is inherently damaging to your reputation and costs you money to be accused of being transgender.
And that's the story.
Yeah.
That is the story. None of the rest of it is the story.
They can't sue her.
The story.
Like the lawsuit's going to get tossed in 2 seconds and a waste of everyone's time. And all it does is make the story bigger and give Candace Owens more PR.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And there's so many elements to that story. Like, it's not just like, what was it? She was like a teacher and like she groomed him.
She?
Or he. Yeah, he was a teacher.
Hey,
and then
we
like,
don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
You're gonna
kinda
get
scared,
sued next,
actually. I could get groomed at this rate. I mean, if Big Manny went down, dude, any of us could be next. You
I think
never
it's
know.
funny that Big Mike has never sued anybody.
I was going to bring that up. I was like, does that
That
mean
BDE.
that she's like
that BDE, man.
they're just keeping it secret, or because
Big Mike don't need to sue. BDE. That's what it is.
No, I think Michelle Obama is just like, you can't sue for this.
Right.
And Bridget Macron is like, I will not be defended.
Michelle Obama's podcast is like a perfect example of like why the legacy media is failing now. It's just it's such
so whiny. And it's, for someone who had so much and still has so much, to have that much of a chip on your shoulder against everyone who gave you grace, who gave you attention,
Who's worse, Michelle Obama or Meghan Markle?
Oh man, that is
Markle.
Markle.
Big Markle, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to say something real quick because we got this picture of Bridget Macron and Emmanuel Macron. And part of me is like, it's just so brutal. Imagine being this haggard, disgusting old woman. And instead of just being called a haggard, disgusting old woman, you get called a man.
Anybody familiar with Iron Maiden's mascot, Eddie? Yes. That she kind of looks like Eddie. Right?
I kind of wish you could just sue people for being mean to you. Like, I'd be in like 20 lawsuits at all times.
Oh, my
That's it.
Listen. So it's two public figures. She is the first lady of France suing Candace Owens, one of the biggest podcasters in the world, for being called a man. But first, how are you going to prove to a court being called a man is defamatory? More importantly, with Times v. Sullivan, they have to prove that Candace actually knows Bridget is not a man, meaning there's some evidence given to Candace. Like, they would literally need chats from Candace being like, I know she's a woman, but this gets clicks. That would give it. You can't get that because you'll never get to discovery. It'll get either anti-slapped out. I don't know if Delaware is anti-slap, but then they're going to go to the Times v. Sullivan precedent and they're going to say, you're two public figures, get out. Why? You can't. Can you prove damages? No. This is not defamation per se. So thank you and have a nice day. All the Macrons did was make sure everyone on the planet knew Candace thinks Bridget's a man.
I just don't know why her husband didn't sue her for slapping him in front of everybody in the world.
Real.
Yeah, I forgot.
Because he
so
liked it.
Yeah, he's into it. Come on. You know, hey, different strokes for different folks. I'm not going to rag on him.
We're not judging him. Right?
Yeah.
Then he
Right.
found
We're not
out.
judging.
Then he saw that it was on video and he liked it even more. And he's like, "Oh, crap."
Yeah, now they turn it on. They turn it on while they're in bed.
It's like I used to pay for this kind of humiliation.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so, you know, it's kind of funny because calling Bridget McCrone a man would be akin to just saying she's ugly. Imagine suing someone for saying you look gross.
I kind of want to.
I mean,
I got to be honest.
I want to
like,
be able to do that. Like,
Take a look.
everyone
Take a
call
look
me
at this
gay
picture.
and just like sue him.
Why did they choose this photo where it clearly looks like Bridget is a guy wearing a wig? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
if you could sue for insults,
Oh, it'd be over for
Bro,
everyone.
you can sue a ham sandwich.
Everyone.
Oh,
And
Mike,
the
if you
could
entire
win.
internet would
Yeah,
be
you're not
gone.
gonna win.
Yeah, every lawyer in my town would know me.
I mean, I got every like 25 years of people saying they don't like my band.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Ching.
Do you know how many people hate me?
Hey, I'm sure.
I mean,
I
I
would
get
have, like,
insulted every day.
Amazon level.
I can make some
Guys,
money.
on the internet, no one knows you're 14. Okay,
That's right.
So when someone tweets at you and they're like, "You're an ugly skank," it's like, yeah, and you're a child. I don't care what you think. You have no money.
You're getting sued anyway. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, give me some Legos or something.
That's right.
I don't know, yeah.
Give me the
And
Legos.
Candace wakes up and it's like Christmas morning. She's like, "I'm going to make so much money off this."
Oh, seriously, this is crazy.
Your
More
Xbox.
videos.
It's like the Macron sat down and said, "What can we do to make sure everyone in the world thinks that you're a man and give Candace Owens $1 million?" I know. Let's launch a frivolous lawsuit that lands in the press and everyone will talk about it.
It was really poorly thought out. It just continues the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just continues the story.
Well, it's made it from like, oh, this is kind of funny.
Guys.
Candace is doing that to like, is there
I
something?
want
there?
to get in on this. I think Emmanuel Macron is a man. That's right.
I'm not I'm not convinced. I'm not sure.
Well, figuratively, like in spirit, no. But I'm pretty sure, based on those pictures, he's a guy.
Pick somebody more novel. Be like, I think Pete Buttigieg is a man. Then
That might be a bridge too far. Yeah.
Just so you know, what's really funny is you guys remember transvestigations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So back
Those
in the
still
day,
go on, I'm
this
sure.
still happens all the time.
these woke leftists and gender activists find pictures of random women on the internet and then accuse them of being secretly men who transitioned.
oh my God.
And that's what Candace Owens did here. She did probably the most notable transvestigation we've ever seen and got sued for it.
Oh man, like 2025 is crazy.
Well,
They've been
the
doing transvestigation for
Long time.
at least a decade.
Well, there's the inverse one now where like right wingers will take like just like a 10 out of 10 woman and post it on like a trans subreddit and be like,
Oh, right.
do I look good? What do you think? 3 months in?
Yep.
And then dudes just be like flipping out. I don't even pass.
Probably what she saw. And just get over here, Manny. That's probably what she saw.
What if like the trans subreddits are literally just male Zoomers all screwing with
gaslighting
each other?
each
Yeah.
other. Everyone's just mentally just deranged, just wasted.
Well, I mean, you guys grew up dancing to that hot dog garbage from Disney,
Oh,
so
that's a
your
banger,
brain,
dude.
It's
No,
right. You see how you're
no.
cooked,
What?
bro.
Huge generational divide. That song's a banger. Hot dog, hot dog.
I'm gonna pull. Oh my God.
My
Oh,
grandchildren
no.
listen to that song.
They got good taste. They got good taste.
This
now
is
it's stuck in my head.
look at this. Okay, 1
This is a
hour.
banger?
1 hour
thumper,
long.
yeah.
Look at this.
Look, she's hitting that. Look, bang. Wait till Goofy. Yo.
Goofy's got it going
Goofy's
on.
got it, yeah.
He's got it.
Lord's got
He's
it.
got it going on. Yep.
Cut. You're gonna get copy.
You know, you're just hitting that, dude.
This video is 1 hour long. Of
Not long
nothing
enough.
But this.
Not long enough.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You're
Because
very
Disney-
smart for having absorbed that kind of
Well, but-
stuff.
but-
What did you do? What happened? What did your parents
I
do?
locked in. I watched this. I didn't watch that. My mom tried to make me watch Baby Einstein. I was like, get this crap off. Where's Mickey?
Where's me?
Yeah.
Kids,
Hot dog,
yo,
hot dog,
this is what I'm
baby
saying.
dog.
Like Gen Z, Gen Alpha is going to be a bunch of like they can't read, they can't read, they can barely speak, they don't know how to like these teachers are talking about on school. Gen Alpha are just basically drooling at their desks.
Oh, the schools are gonna be like dog shelters. Where they're all just like, I'm like, take me home. It's gonna be bad, dude.
It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
You know, but the conspiracy theory is that it was intentional, that the globalists, they call, again, this is a conspiracy theory, the purpose of the COVID educational stunt was to force developed nations to, you can't force the bottom up, but you can cut off the tall grass. So the idea is if you force a developed nation's children to be stunted by a decade, it will level them out with the rest of the nations and then force them to all start developing at the exact same time. So it was an attempted normalization. So Gen Alpha are going to function like third worlders.
I don't know though, because like the third world countries had the toughest crackdowns. Like my friends that were in Trinidad.
Right, they wanted everybody to be basically like.
So they were like nuking us, but then they were just like decimating like the third world. They're like, you can't go outside all day. Sorry.
Maybe
Forever.
the real story is the aliens are like, humans are developing too quickly. Let's pull them back.
Getting good. You seen Mickey Mouse? They're getting pretty good. We might need
Goofy's
nip
got
this
it
in the
going
bud. Yeah, Goofy's hitting that. It's time to nip it in the bud. It's a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. Like, it's really sad. Like, I went to my college career coincided with COVID, like almost to a T. And it's like, I see, like, I'm learning new social skills at like 24 that I should have learned like when I was like 18 or 19. But I just got like nuked right off the rip. Like, I got spawn killed basically.
I was just talking to a dude.
Spawn kill.
I was just talking to a guy, and he was like, oh, so you had a kid? And I was like, yeah. He's like, how old? And I was like, 5 months now. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, I got two, 17 and 12. I was like, 17? How old are you? And he's like, 38. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's normal. That's normal. People were going crazy when Ilhan Omar's daughter was protesting. And they were like, she's 21? How old is she? What? Like, yeah, Ilhan Omar is like 40-something. She's like, what is she, like 43? Yeah, so she had a kid at a normal age like people do.
Yeah.
And millennials are just permanent children who are like, I can't believe you had a kid at a normal age. I'm 40 and I just had my first.
Yeah, they were just hit with so much propaganda in their early 20s to prevent them from having families, getting married.
Yeah, you don't
Well, the
want
economy,
kids.
bro.
Yeah.
I ain't about to have a kid in 2008.
I don't
No,
even know
I
if
was
it's-
trying to be a dishwasher.
like a lot of the stuff that I see about that feels like, as true as it is, like you see these intellectual think pieces about why people were the way they were during the 2008 collapse. But it really was like you were told, you have time, just wait, get your degree, do this, and that. And they kind of grew up in a world where there was so much media being thrown at them that they're like, they were numb to the idea that the world isn't as easy as like what you see on TV, where like all the boring, inane stuff that takes time, like making appointments and doing all these, like you never see that in the movies and the TV shows. Now they get up, they're like, my mom doesn't make my appointments anymore and I'm dying.
Can I just point out that Disney turned comments off on their psychobabble
Too much
garbage?
glazing. They had to turn
And I
it off.
bet the thumbs down, there's 121 million views with only 316,000 thumbs up, implying the thumbs down it's going to be over 1 million.
Oh.
When I was growing
That's because
up,
the little
this-
kids that watch it can't like.
No, it's because
give thumbs
regular
up.
people are probably saying this is bad, brain
Mind-numbing.
frying
No,
garbage, and Disney doesn't care because they've made probably like 10 million bucks on this or
It's
something.
our enemies. They're
Hey, you gotta get on the.
It's all
YouTube.
Nickelodeon.
No, it's like China. They're like, we can't let them have this. Like,
You gotta get
I'll
on-
downvote it. Yeah, do it.
You got to get on YouTube and start making some fake accounts and thumbs
have
upping.
to, Like to that point is like the one thing about the economy, because people always really attribute the birth rate crisis to the economy, but it's like the birth rate was going down by 1980. Like it's been descending at America's peak economy, and then now like a lot of these other theories are breaking down. Like Colombia's TFR is lower than ours. Colombia is not a developed country by any stretch of the imagination. So it's like every theory that we had about TFR relating to like the economy or even like
It's the birth control pill and feminism.
that's the primary
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the 1970s, when, I'm getting out of high school, like half my class was married before they were 20 and had 3 kids by the time they were 25. And by the way, the economy in 1977 sucked. We used to have to wait in line to get gas, and
Where did you live?
Pittsburgh.
But like in what kind of building?
In my family home. In a house.
Your house?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I bought
During a bad economy, people owned houses.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now allegedly we have a good economy, and a bungalow costs $500,000 in rural West Virginia.
The same house that I bought in 1980, which was $34,000. I was probably making $12,000 a year at that time. Is now that house just recently sold for $365,000. It's the same house.
And your parents and your grandparents are like, you can own a house too, just don't drink Starbucks. And when you apply for a job, give a firm handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, And you know what? You just had kids. Nobody told us, oh, don't have kids. You just had them if you didn't have a good job.
A 900 square foot house in Chicago where I grew up is $215,000.
That's crazy.
That's another boomerism.
That's this room.
And it's like where they're like, if you need a job, have you just walk in there with a resume? And I'm like,
they call security,
yeah,
bro.
if you did that now, they like tell you to kill yourself. Like, get out of here.
We got these two rooms should be, I think, about 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
dollar.
That's the size.
The dollar.
No, it's a little bit more than that actually. I think it's 1,500.
Yeah.
Guys, the dollar has lost 99% of its value versus gold since 1971.
It's okay, Phil. Pull yourself up. With the bootstraps.
Oh my God.
It's
actually almost 2,000 square feet, these two rooms.
Yeah. This
So you could
is
sell
about
just this top
900
floor.
square feet,
Yeah, you
right?
can rent it out.
This is it. This is all you got.
Right. You're right.
Can you leave or record?
Check this out. The federal minimum wage in 1970 was $1.60 an hour. Gold was pegged at $35 an ounce and backed a dollar, which meant 1 hour of work was valued at 0.046 ounces of gold. In today's money, that would be $150 an hour versus the current federal minimum wage of $7.25. It's because the government has been irresponsible with the dollar and with the value of our currency, and the productivity that has come with modernization from the 70s has not transferred out to the average worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Fed.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
No,
it doesn't even. I agree about the Fed, but it's not even just the Fed, because the Fed started in 1913, and from 1913 until the 70s,
Totally.
you know,
it's irresponsibility, and like printing that much. When I saw M1 in 2020, I said, "Well, we're gonna have a really terrible next decade."
You're an
And then
economist.
Here we are. Yeah, I'm an economist, and like, dude, we're having a really terrible decade. So
Yeah.
hopefully, we can pull ourselves up by our bootstraps.
It was like
We did in the 70s.
I was
terrible.
looking at these documentaries. I was watching all of these documentaries about like Ruby Ridge or like domestic terrorists, and they're all like, it's all these guys who go and they have all these complaints and grievances with the government, but they buy like a plot of land for like $5 and a pack of bubble gum.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that happened today, if you could have all these grievances, but then somebody's like, I'll sell you this land for like $1,000, you're like, maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like maybe I could just build a house.
Even worse, cults are operating with like studio apartments now. Like, don't come in here. Well, you can't come in. Just get evicted. It's over. Cult's over. Sorry, guys. We missed the spaceship. Yeah.
What's the price of Kool-Aid today anyways? I don't even know how you could make the Kool-Aid.
The only way they could afford the Nikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen how expensive shoes are?
Luke is throwing shade at you, Serge.
Ooh.
Yeah. I said you're an economist, and Luke goes, if he's an economist, I'm a gynecologist.
Oh, yikes!
Everyone
that was
knows.
a weird claim.
Everyone knows that Luke has never seen a vagina.
Yeah, it's an odd claim, Luke. I would.
Whole milk right now is
consider.
at $4 a gallon nationally.
It's kind of like, think about that. Like, remember when eggs were just the defining factor about whether the economy was good here like 2 months ago? Now nobody's talking about it. Everybody just goes from trend to trend to trend, and nothing's actually real.
Right.
Well-
That's why tomorrow we're going to open the show with a review of the Fantastic Four film.
See, as I was telling Tim, like I bought my tickets today, and I literally audibly sighed as I bought them because I'm
Yeah.
like,
Because Pedro Pascal is in it.
no,
Yes.
I don't care about
Really?
Yep.
60s retro aesthetic. Just doesn't interest me.
Sure, I get all that, but Pedro Pascal is in it.
It's so he's
I'm
an
so over
actor.
him.
Well, he's just in every movie.
I know.
I get it, man. Jeez.
But everybody who talks about him,
you know, he must work for cheap, right?
no. He's he comes at a high cost now. I guarantee you.
He's an immigrant.
Like,
He's
I mean, he's-
undercutting our actors.
Remember when he played Trump in Wonder Woman?
Well, Maxwell Lord. He said he just recently he's like, I'll never shave my face again. I look so awful in that movie. But he's been acting since like '99. So he's one of those rare success stories where he found his fame like way later in life. But the better question is why he's always touching the women on the red carpets because
That is
he's got
so
anxiety.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
watching that.
It's like he never gets anxiety around men. It's always around women.
That could have been the out. Like Harvey Weinstein's like, sorry, I get nervous.
It's like these red carpet events and these award shows are
Louis
very,
CK's
very
like,
difficult.
Sorry, I was a little anxious. My bad. I get a little
So
depressed.
I guess Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in the after credit scene.
Oh, I never stay for the post-credit scenes anymore.
Yeah, because they're meaningless.
Yeah,
And
I just go home and somebody's
our,
put it online.
our culture is the MCU. It's like I don't care about the celebrity gossip stuff, whatever. The point is, our culture I think can track well alongside the MCU's unraveling into chaotic nonsense. So as the Marvel movies became increasingly incoherent, that was tracking alongside society's increasing incoherence.
I mean, it's because Endgame was 2019, and then COVID happened, and
but it's that it could be COVID, but I just mean like we used to follow the hero's journey, and that was the entertaining arc.
Well, they stopped doing that just when the Lucas Story Film Group also stopped.
Right, that's when I don't know if you call it like a woke institutional conspiracy or takeover or intentionally, but all of a sudden movies started being about nothing, and it made no sense.
It became subversive to start telling different stories because they feel that the hero's journey is a product of a different time when there was more patriarchal ideas in storytelling, and what they perceive as stories that these days here are white Western ideals, even though that's not necessarily true about the hero's journey at large.
So they're making my book into a movie.
Oh.
And they've already started pre-production. And I can tell you guys here, they just filmed the end
Pedro
credits.
Pascal is in it.
He's playing Trump again.
No,
Sorry.
But the ending is super cool because it's not just about what happened in Butler. It's about the death of journalism and the importance of shoe leather journalism.
Okay.
And at the end, you see my cowboy boots, because I always wear cowboy boots. Saw Urban Cowboy 1980, and I thought, Deborah Winger, she's got it rocking. I'm going to do it. So you see my cowboy boots, get in my old Jeep, and my Jeep is, last Jeep had 400,000 miles. This one has 300,000 miles.
I think we've largely won.
Yeah.
Like the culture war, I think it is so tremendous what we are seeing.
Yeah.
I had an interview with an Axios reporter about the split over Trump, MAGA, Epstein, what was currently going on, and it seemed like the first time the institutional press was going, we now recognize that the right is composed of multiple different political factions and not a single group. Yeah. And they started to realize it. And then I guess as an aside, we're getting profiled by the Wall Street Journal, for better or for worse. I don't know what that means, but they also, I believe they profiled Bannon. Mm-hmm. So the corporate press is basically waving the white flag and realizing that they've lost this one. And then you can take a look at just the general shift and how there's like, how movies are starting to change. I think people realize the Bud Light effect was dangerous and you're going to lose money, and everyone's backtracking now.
Fantastic Four is getting good reviews from people that I do trust. So, despite the fact that it doesn't really interest me, I enjoyed Superman a lot, and the people that I talked to liked it more than they liked Superman, and they did like Superman. So,
yeah, I'm hearing it's going to be good. I'm going to go see it tomorrow, and apparently Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in the end or something. And I don't like. Pedro Pascal is a great actor, but I don't want to look at his face anymore.
Better that than going to see Eddington, the Ari Aster film about COVID.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I would actually, they should AI get this movie and just AI Pedro Pascal out of it and
put somebody else in.
Anyone. I don't care.
It's so zesty. They'll probably do it for the China release. I think they have to. Yeah.
My friends, we're going to grab your super chats and Rumble rants. So smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. The uncensored call-in show is coming up at 10 p.m. at rumble.com/Timcast IRL. So make sure you go check that one out. For now, we're going to read what you guys have to say. All right. Incoherent Turd says, don't worry, guys. The referral is on Pam Bondi's desk. Just 12 or 13 more Fox News interviews, and she might take a look at them.
Yep.
Yep. Flan the Man says, it doesn't matter. They can refer anyone they want for persecution. Prosecution, you mean? But nothing ever happens because nobody will get arrested, even a mock arrest.
What if they were just like, we're going to send a file so we can persecute you?
And then they just literally harass you in your day-to-day life, but never actually bring charges.
We have a file. We're allowed to do it.
All right. Mizamori says, couldn't they open an investigation into the Epstein files as a conspiracy in the IC and then just not release anything because it's an active investigation? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Trump could do so much to jam this up. He's handling this miserably. Where's the spycraft? It's almost like these guys are too honest. And Bongino's like, we don't have any evidence. And you're like, what? I don't believe you. And he's like, we don't. And then everyone's accusing me of being a spy. I'm like, bro, if Bongino was trying to pull a fast one on you, he'd come out and be like, we're looking into it and we found some sick stuff. So we're going to get this investigation going. Trust me. And that would be the last thing you ever heard of it. Everyone would go, all right, I trust you, Dan. So Dan's not lying to you. They just don't have anything. Trump may be lying. I don't know. Pam Bondi may be lying. I'm just saying they're doing a piss poor job of actually covering this up.
Yeah. I operate under the premise that most politicians are lying all the time, so.
Yeah, I was interviewing Massey earlier, and I asked him if he thought the Obama criminal conspiracy was real, and he just like had this shocked expression. He was like, I think all of DC and everything they're doing is an ongoing criminal conspiracy. And I was like, well, yes, he's correct.
Couldn't make me like him more.
Yeah,
except for he's a politician, which means I can't like him based on
Massey's great.
that alone.
He's like the only real human being. Ro Khanna, I appreciate Ro Khanna's efforts, but I just disagree with like politically on everything. Massey, I disagree sometimes on a lot of on certain things, and it is what it is. But it's so cringe how like Mike Johnson, what was he like? He went on Benny Johnson's show and he was like, "We want transparency in these documents," and then he's like, "I'm not going to let you vote on this. Go home." We'll see what happens. I think Massey was saying he's going to talk to him and they may actually get it through. All right. The James Black says, I feel like the reason Trump is handling this so bad is maybe his son is also implicated. Maybe it is his son is also implicated. I don't know. I think it's going to be something embarrassing but not criminal. It's going to be really bad for his reputation. That makes the most sense. It's going to be like tons of stuff about how he partied with Epstein and flew on his jets. And he's going to be like, but I didn't do anything. And they're going to say, it was Trump, it was you or something. I don't know. I don't believe that Trump, again, I mean, everybody said 800 million times. If there was anything proving Trump was involved in Epstein's business, Democrats would have dumped that first thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like what it is. I think that there's probably economic information in there and that he's worried about the economic fallout from it. That's what I've been thinking. I think Stick said that as well today. I think that's the only thing I can think of. I've racked my brain about this, but, I could be wrong. Everyone could be wrong.
All right. God's Omen says, no way. The fact of it sticking around means that it's worth it because the nothing stories go away fast. Americans are so used to fast stories, fast paced, they can't retain the whole picture. That's a good point. Like I remember I was watching a bunch of Gen Z guys sitting outside in Virginia just going like this on their phones, like zombies. If you can get a generation, and I mean like the American people, to focus on one story for 2 or 3 weeks, wow, that's kind of creepy. Powerful story. Yep. God's Omen says, keep up the good work, Tim. Been listening to you for many years while I'm building a house and appreciate that you have just been the same where all these Stephen Colberts change so quickly. They certainly do. Lanzan says, Trump recently posted a pic of Lindsey Graham gloating about how great he is while trashing Massey for weeks. Trump isn't our guy anymore. We didn't turn our backs on him. He turned his back on MAGA.
No, you're a panicking. You're a panicking. This has been the text, this has been his playbook for 10 years. He rewards loyalty.
Trump just fired 26,000 IRS agents.
Yes.
It's hard for me to be mad at the man, okay? Now, I want the Epstein stuff released. I don't think he's implicated in it, so I'm not going to... There's going to be people being like, you're supporting him, knowing what they... He's not implicated in anything just yet, okay? And no, if it turns out he was working with Epstein, I'm going to be like, nah. But here's a challenge. Honest question. In Trump's 4 years, he's got a couple years left. Let me ask you guys something. Let's say documents are published, and it turns out Trump was working with Epstein, facilitating it financially. Would you still support Trump?
No. I mean, he'd be in jail. So.
You mean knowingly facilitating what Epstein was doing?
Yeah.
No. Like he's a pedophile, basically. Yep. Yeah, no.
So
that's not going to happen. He's a patriot.
So the agreed, but no one's going to arrest him if he was president and stuff came out. The issue then is, it's like your options are corrupt Democrats burn the country to the ground, or Epstein Trump is preventing that, and it just seems like wash it all out. I'm done. Yeah. See you later.
That goes back to what I was saying earlier.
I'll be in a van down by the just give up.
Yeah.
No, that's how I feel about
it. Focus on your life, the people in your life, a world you can make better around you. Yes, politicians are constantly trying to ruin the world for you, but you can't worry about that 24/7.
Yeah. I would just go live in a van down by the river. That's it. Buy a little plot of land by a river in an area that won't flood, so slightly elevated off the river.
Never down by the creek.
Nope. And then just get a trailer and stick it in the ground and.
Bring my sleeping bag in here and staying in here.
Buy an island, maybe Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Maybe have like a Egyptian hut on it. I don't know. Just spitballing, obviously.
Yeah,
Glamping.
Glamping.
Yeah, I was just glamping down there. I didn't do anything.
All right. What do we got? God's Omen says, I think Hillary Clinton went to Trump's wedding. She did. I believe she did.
Yep.
Can you believe that? If I would be shocked to find if these documents prove that Trump and Hillary were friends.
That's damning.
Very damaging to Trump's reputation.
That's way worse than that.
It's like the video of him, whatever correspondence dinner it was, where he roasts Hillary and she laughs along with him. And you're like,
She specifically said,
Smith dinner.
yeah.
she specifically said, like, she's like, yeah, I went. Trump's a fun guy. You know,
That's so sick.
See, that's the buddy comedy I want to see made. I want to see a movie about Trump and Hillary.
Like you're apologizing. Everyone hates, but you're just so cool. Like you're just so fun to be around. Like, dude.
remember, people only started hating Donald Trump when he got into politics.
Yep.
Like before then,
Oh, he was the guy.
Civil rights
everybody
leader.
loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Actually, I like the idea that Hillary yells at Bill why can't you be more like Trump?
Oh, come on, babe.
Sorry, Hill.
Sorry, hell dog.
Up, dude.
dog.
We'll go to the island. I'll make it up, dude. Thank you. Been working.
I would imagine that Bill Clinton probably has charisma similar to Donald Trump, because I think most presidents, to become the president, you have to have a lot of charisma. You're asking a lot of people to give you money.
Saxophone, Arkansas Riz.
It's mildly more lecherous, though.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, a little weird.
No, in the 90s it wasn't.
No, it's
Oh, it had to
it's
be
lecherous
electric.
now. It's like
Gets
him.
out with the sax. That'd be so tough.
I mean, I remember as a kid, I was like, he's kind of cool, right? He's
Wait,
on
who's-
MTV playing.
yeah.
Whose funeral was he at? Where he was staring at Ariana Grande, and everybody's like, "Why is he doing that?"
kind of a dog.
Because he's Bill Clinton. I don't remember who's.
It's like you must not know him.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Aretha Franklin.
Thank you, Aretha Franklin.
That tan girl's nice. I think she's Mexican or something.
Not anymore.
I don't know what she is.
Italian.
I just know I want her.
Oh, God.
All right, we got Raymond G. Stanley Jr. He says the Russia hoax was more than just Trump. It was the globalist destroyers of the West that wanted to stop the U.S. from having strong relations with a prominently white nation with traditional values.
Gee, I wonder who he's talking about.
All right, Wyatt Kaldenberg says, how much do you think anti-Zionism plays in making Epstein a never-ending crackpot theory? If there were a couple of Christian pedos instead of two Jewish pedos with ties to Israel, would so many people care about it and make up crap? I think this is the funny thing about the Israel derangement syndrome, is that if you attach, it's like, if there was a bank and I was like, that's the target guy. Here's my heist movie, okay? Heist movie short film. And the team is like, here's the team. We got a hacker. We got the driver. We got the strong man. We're going to go into this bank and we're going to rob it. What's the plan, man? We're going to accuse the bank of working with Israel. And then the anti-Israel people are going to storm in and go nuts and smash everything. And we're going to walk out with the money.
I think the banks are the only organization where it wouldn't really fire people up. They were
But the previous
like a
chatter,
Kroger. I'd be like, what?
the previous chatter literally, was talking about exactly what I say. There's two groups of people that really care. There's the people that believe that Epstein was involved with Israel and with the Mossad and with CIA. And if Epstein is exposed and all of the information comes out, the American people will say, oh, we have to stop being allies with Israel because Israel's controlling our government. And then there are the people that think that Epstein had a slew of underage kids. And those are the two people that are really passionate about it.
Figured it out. Trump literally just needs to come out and say the Epstein files were doctored by Israel. We can't release them because it helps them.
That's better. I was like,
Yeah.
It's like these documents, they
Yep.
were fabricated by Mossad to make Israel look good, so I won't do it. And then literally the story will flip overnight.
Jeffrey Epstein, he was Palestinian.
I was like, he's like, at some point, 2 weeks. 2 weeks it's been in the news. He's like, I'm gonna have to bomb Iran again if we don't get this thing out
It's
of
his fault it's in the news.
Yeah.
It's Trump's fault. Man.
Yeah, he's like, what are you guys whining about? That's literally what he said. He's like, dude,
It's a hoax. Shut up.
who cares?
All right. From north of nowhere, is that what it says? North to nowhere, sorry. Van Life Timcast fan here. I die a little inside each time Tim mentions his beefed up camper van that doesn't get used. Shout out my Van Life channel we are trying to grow from north to nowhere. That's a good point.
Is that
You've
still
got,
back at the?
Yeah, it's like a $60,000 decked out solar van with a TV and everything inside and big batteries.
Glamping.
It's got enough energy to affect it. So with the solar panels, it will run indefinitely. So I could hook up my computer up to it, plug it in, and it will never run out of power because it generates more from solar than it expends. However, I think you can only do like 10 hours of max AC.
Okay.
AC is insanely draining. Insanely draining. Yeah. We need to get that over here. and do something with it.
You got to do a skit where you go over there and somebody's just been sleeping in it the whole
I
time.
wouldn't be surprised.
Ian just sleeps in it for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's been sitting for, like literally untouched for I think 2 years.
Yeah, behind.
Wow.
Probably won't even turn on at this point. Battery's probably cooked. And this happens all the time. It's like we really need to just move it out and use it and do something with it.
It's like I was walking by the other. I was like, oh, there's a second trailer on the side of the building.
Yep.
You just spawn.
Yeah. We have two fifth wheel trailers.
Again, I was like, is somebody's like sleeping in there? Why is that thing over there?
So the first trailer is basically the clubhouse now. So when we're doing this show and people they want to skate or whatever, or they want to hang out, they can do it outside, so they're not being noisy. And the second trailer it's set up to be another studio space. Yeah, nobody wants to use it, so we'll see what happens in the future. But we have them. They're both for mobile shows, and we used them both, and now we have them, and it's like I don't know, maybe we sell one.
That was like the first one was like that first trip to Austin in 2021, right?
Yeah.
Alex Jones's. I still remember that.
Biggest show we ever did, and YouTube deleted it.
Yeah, I still have like photos.
Joe Rogan and
from-
Alex Jones. And then YouTube made up some fake reason to delete it. It's wild.
I still have photos of like when that was all getting set up.
Yeah, crazy.
That.
And that was when Kyle Rittenhouse was found out guilty.
Yep.
Crazy. We were hanging out with Alex Jones at his studio, and
Almost 4 years ago now.
that's crazy, dude. Wow,
It's been a long 5 years.
man. All right, well, here we go. Let's see. The Adaptive Outdoorsman says, Tim, thank you for your tips on business. Thanks to your tips on business pitfalls, the Adaptive Outdoorsman podcast is now an LLC. Here's to more growth. Well, shout out, brother. There you go. Good. Best of luck. All right. What does this say? I can't read that. Kyle says, baby number 3 is on the way. On our way to the hospital, welcome baby Scarlet Rose. Cheers, Timcast. More babies. More babies. You know, Luke Rutkowski, I see him in the chat. Smack talking. Where are your babies? Huh? Luke? What's going on? I don't see no baby Lukes. You know what I mean? All right, where are we at? Zachary Rosfeld says, I think Trump is involved in a way that isn't pedo. That's what I think is why he's against the release, maybe regular prostitution or money laundering. I think, well, they're saying it's unverified hearsay. So when Trump says it's a Democrat hoax, it sounds like Trump's belief is that Democrats intentionally put in a poison pill into the files, making him look bad in some way that can't be proven, but really bad. And so if they get released, they basically said, if we go down, you're going down with us. And Trump was like, ooh, and now he's trying to wash it under the rug. I don't care, man. Reset the whole system. Just release it. And then let the chips fall where they lie. Is that the saying?
I mean, if it was just like regular prostitute, like would anybody care? Remember when there was like he was getting peed on by Russian prostitutes or something like that?
He literally paid Stormy Daniels to have sex with him.
Yeah, like
No one would care.
that's not gonna that's not even gonna rate with most people.
No.
Luke says, going to smack talk more now. Well, you know, we always tell Luke to come on the show, and then he just never does. He's just, who knows what he's doing down there in Florida. He's probably...
He says it's too cold up here.
It was 90 degrees today.
Air
I'm not
conditioning's
saying
out
that
at
he's
the other
right. I'm
building
saying that's
and
what he
it's not
says.
cold.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Why?
It keeps.
It's too hot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should just permanently remove it so you don't got to think about it anymore. Just no more.
Desk fan for me, man.
Yeah, Massey was saying the reason they have the August recess is because historically August was so hot in the swamp. They'd literally be like, just don't come here because of the malaria.
Malaria, yeah, people died. The summer White, there was always, each president had a different summer White House because you would just, Washington is literally built on a swamp.
Yeah.
Yep.
God forbid politicians would have to be uncomfortable.
Nowadays they
That's
have no
crazy
excuse.
to think. They're wearing like suits in Congress and it's 100 degrees in the
Wigs.
building. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they actually wore wigs.
Oh yeah, but or at least in the very early days, yeah.
They wore wigs?
Yep, actual wigs.
What? I don't believe that. Is that true?
Yes.
Did Congress ever wear wigs?
Well, they wear wigs in South Africa.
Washington did not wear. Washington
Only
did not
some
wear a
early
wig.
members, though. In
Yeah.
the late 18th century, short after the nation's founding, wig wearing was it faded very quickly. However,
The last
That's
guy wearing the
crazy.
wig.
it was a British custom. Why did they wear wigs? Why?
Like I said, they have it in South Africa, and like the judges, everyone still wears these crazy little wigs. It's like the most ridiculous thing ever.
Just like imagine being the last congressman, like rolling up with the wig.
was fashion.
Like, dude, what's your
Bro,
you guys know where it came from?
Leave it at home.
Bro, drop it.
You guys know where it came
that's
from?
so
Where?
From people losing
1789.
their hair with syphilis in French courts.
Oh, really? It was syphilis.
Yep, I think it was like
French?
Louis. Louis lost all his hair because of syphilis, and then everyone was like, "Oh, well, that's on Vogue. Now I got to get cut all my hair off, and then put on this fake, like powdered up wig." And it became a fashion statement because of how everyone had syphilis.
Syphilis caused patchy hair loss.
Everybody was
They would
crazy.
wear wigs.
Yep.
Dang.
And they would drink mercury. They're like, this will cure you. And they drink it and like, I'm dying now. Yep.
You're
Oh,
wild.
that's crazy.
crazy.
To be fair, though, I imagine that like in 100 years, they're going to be like, they used to give people literal poison to cure their disease. Can you believe it?
They used to, it's like chemo.
No, but like
right?
today, yeah, chemo, antibiotics.
Yeah.
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 I was actually surprised to read about this because there are a lot of medicines that are are rather rudimentary that there's like herbs and stuff and there's chemicals in them and we're like, oh, actually aspirin is this tree bark and you can extract it. But modern antibiotics are extremely arduous and difficult to make. So I was looking up like how many people do you need to make modern antibiotics, not penicillin, and it's like laboratory conditions that will not exist in the wild. Antibiotics are gone if civilization collapses, and the proper dosage is insane too. So if you take too much, you die. It's literal poison. It's crazy. Not an easy thing for humans to have accomplished. I do think it's kind of crazy that they never knew to pour their moonshine on their bullet wounds, though. They were like, you got shot, your leg is gone, and it's like you're holding moonshine.
They probably knew, but it's just, I like moonshine. Why waste? Yeah.
You don't want to waste the
You
moonshine.
just drink the pain away.
Yeah.
The leg has to go.
Yeah, the leg. Kidding me? You seen these prices? They're pissed with the economy.
Oh, okay. They did. They did know this actually. It was done. They didn't know germ theory, but they knew that moonshine and alcohol and salves actually could prevent loss and everything. And they would pour alcohol sometimes, but they wouldn't use. It was rare that they actually did. They weren't sure if the alcohol was actually standard or uniform. They also didn't know that germs existed.
They also put leeches on people.
They would do vinegar. Wow.
Vinegar cures everything.
Yeah, they would. Wow, that's amazing. Alcohol was used internally as a sedative. That's
Still do that to this day.
Oh, look at this.
We're not talking about Tuesday nights.
Thanks to figures like Joseph Lister, doctors began to regularly use alcohol, carbolic acid, and sterilizing techniques. Did he invent Listerine?
That's where it comes from.
Is that really where it comes from?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, yeah. Are you just saying that because it sounds right?
No, I think he was one of those guys that like sold like snake oil back in the day, and they would put their name on it as Listerine, like whatever Ian. So yeah.
Fauci Eaton. Whoa.
Listerine was developed by Dr. Lawrence in 1879, named after Joseph Lister.
Yeah. Something like that.
Wow. Would you look at that? For treating dandruff, gonorrhea, and sore throats.
Hey, 3-in-1. That's what it's all about. A little 3-in-1.
Oh man.
They were prevalent problems back then.
Yeah, find me one medicine that can do all three. They're all one-trick ponies.
Well, I mean, you say that, but like, they're like when you think of all the things that penicillin actually treats, it's like, well,
Yeah, that's true.
You
see all those old ads where it actually says that it'll treat all three, and it's like, weird.
Yeah.
All right. Garrett Wards. Garrett D. Wards. The Trump administration is pulling back on the files because it's a continuation of the conspiracy of Obamagate. Comey's daughter was the prosecutor of the case, and they falsified evidence again. That is an interesting point, that it was Comey's daughter that was in charge of that case, and so they may have intentionally loaded up false evidence as a time bomb because the Epstein stuff is true. They knew they'd get exposed. It's actually rather, I wouldn't even call it that clever, like probabilistic thing. We talk about how they destroyed evidence. Why wouldn't they fabricate any? Certainly. They would destroy the evidence and then create fake evidence as a time bomb. Maybe that's the challenge. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. Or Trump's in it. Who knows? Whatever. Release him, I guess.
Well, the key word is hoax. He always gives us hints. Rigged, hoax. You really have to think about that.
All right, what do we got here? Our sergeant says, what is this? MFer looks like a French version of Caitlyn Jenner. You know, somehow slightly more mannish looking, meanwhile still expecting the world to go along because we are uncultured swine.
Dang.
Damn.
Look, Bridget McCrone does look like a guy. I mean, that's it. Bridget McCrone looks like a guy with the wig on. Okay? I'm not saying she is a guy. But, you know, what am I supposed to do about it?
Maybe.
God's Omen says, thanks for your team. It takes a lot of work you do. Appreciate it. Shout out to all the Timcast crew, all of our members. Guys, join our Discord server at timcast.com. It is not easy to do this every single day. And now with the Culture War this Saturday, guys, buy tickets to the Culture War. We still, it looks like we're going to have I don't know where we're at with ticket sales because of the weird cancellation thing. So it looks like we might have like 80 people on Saturday. With some walk-ins, it might go a little bit more than that. The only problem is we had already sold around the same amount. So I don't even know how many, like what's the Venn diagram of people who had their tickets canceled and don't know versus people who bought and people who rebought. So there's a possibility that we show up and it's not sold out yet. So that, you know, we're not going to go over capacity, but they screwed everything up. So I'll just say this, don't let them win with their tactics and trying to get us canceled. We may have got the venue back and they agreed to let us do the show, but they screwed up all of our ticketing. So guys, DCComedyLoft.com. Go buy tickets. Come to DC. If you're in the area, if you're in PA, if you're in North Carolina or wherever, New York, take the train down, come to the show, come hang out. Because the disruption is disconcerting. The show's going to happen, and it looks like we're going to have a decently packed house as it is. But my concern is that, you know, they screwed it to the point where people don't know if they're going to be coming or not or what's going on. So all I can really say is get your tickets, come now.
What happened with the tickets?
Luke Rutkowski says, in racist Asian voice, she looka like a man. Where was my invite to this event? Bro, you don't need an invite. You can literally just text me. What are you talking about? You say, I'm going to come. Okay, we'll put you on stage. We have a rotating open seat we're going to bring audience members up. Do you guys want to debate Gavin McInnes or just, you know, sit next to him and ask him a question? Well, audience members are going to be pulled up. Start of the show, we're going to have everyone put their names in a hat, and we're going to draw names to invite people to come debate and have their positions heard.
Names in a beanie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what I heard somebody say.
That's silly. Yeah. But they're probably going to do that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, that's weird. Luke, you can literally just come. We're doing 3. We have 3 weeks in a row of big events. The Michael Malice Angry Cops one is, I'm pretty sure, going to sell out. Considering, so what happened was they canceled the tickets and then immediately all the preferred seats sold out. And I'm like, okay, and that's a problem because I think a lot of people had their tickets canceled and didn't know. The demand was so high that as soon as they restarted the event, people rushed in and bought tickets again. So that one might get nuts. But Michael Malice and Angry Cops is going to be the best show ever.
Absolutely.
You know, it's going to be good. And then Kat Tiff is joining us on August 9th.
That's cool.
Yeah, the subject is feminism destroying the West. So it's basically going to be like 4 against 1. Yeah, Kyla Turner, the liberal, she'll be defending feminism. She's all right. She was good.
I'm not a fan.
She was relaxed.
I'm not a fan.
She wasn't like a screeching, irrational, you know, purple-haired crazy person.
I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan.
You tell her like you're acting like your mother, and she gets really, really angry.
Usually works with women.
She was sweeping for Destiny when the sex pest charges came out, so
Sweeping?
trying to brush them under the rug and trying to cover for him. So
Well, then we will bring that up at the show and say this is proof that, you know.
feminism isn't such a great thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason that she was is because she's doing a podcast with Destiny, or was doing a podcast, and I think that she's not a U.S. citizen, so her actual green card was related to working in the U.S., so she had to make sure that she could stay. And this is just hearsay. This is not actually me saying for sure I know, but I think that part of the reason why she was doing it was because of the fact that she was working with Destiny, and it was disingenuous. So, but anyways.
Miles Tyson says, thank you for all you do. Our beloved dog Athena was diagnosed with cancer today. We are humbly accepting donations at Give, Send, Go at Help Athena Fight. Keep up the Lord's work. Sorry to hear it, man. Best of luck. I hope everything works out. What does this say? I don't know what that says. The Race Fraser? It's all bred in circuses, while we continue to be herded into a technocratic, heavily surveilled, feudalistic society. You will live in the pod and you will eat the bugs. Okay? Bugs are cheap. Kieran the Meat Man says, Tim, the 1 hour hot dog song isn't for kids. It is for frat hazing. They tie you up and hang you upside down while playing the song.
Then now that makes sense.
That just totally makes sense.
That's what all the dislikes are. The guys that got hazed.
Oh, yeah. I got to get this thumbs down. I think this content should be illegal. I'm not joking. I think the 1 hour hot dog song should be illegal.
So what amount of minutes would you be cool with?
The song playing one time. Okay. The problem is
I can't believe that exists.
It's not the only one. There's thousands upon thousands of videos just like this.
Of 1 hour long.
Longer than that, 3 hour long. And what they do is they put the timestamp. They on the thumbnail, it'll say 1 hour plus, like exclamation point, so that moms will turn the tablet on, put it in front of their baby, and then leave their baby to be mesmerized and hypnotized by psychobabble garbage. And that's why Gen Alpha can't read.
Or it's me and Tate.
Yeah, my grandchildren are all on
It's
it.
like, dude, it's
crazy.
He's dancing again. Oh.
Frying your brain. See, this guy's making jokes, but he only watched at the end of a show. He didn't watch it for hours upon hours.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'd probably get in there just to see if anything changes at any point during.
It's never
It'd be funny if, like, wait, see the spike right here? Like, what happened? Yeah, why is this the most replayed portion?
This is the best version.
Get up, stretch out, stop on the floor. Hot dog, hot diggity.
So captivating.
So this is. I found this because I was trying to figure out why there are so many AI-generated hot dog videos, like Spider-Man eating hot dogs and things like this. Yeah. It's because of this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Disney did the hot dog song, and they put it up. How old is this video? This is from 8 years ago.
Okay.
And so it gets so much play, and parents search hot dog song, that people started making anything they could about hot dogs, because what happened is after this ends, YouTube will auto-recommend to a baby Spider-Man, having like a bunch of hot dogs jammed down his throat.
That's wrong. Every time this song ends, the kid should be redirected to Man versus Food, like a hot dog eating challenge. That would like train them up right. That'd be nice.
All right, my friends, smash that like button. Share the show if you do like it. We're going to that uncensored portion of the show, so you don't want to miss it. It's going to be at rumble.com/Timcast IRL. If you'd like to call in and talk to us about anything, you can accuse us of being wrong, right, or otherwise. Go to timcast.com and join the Discord server, where we've got tens of thousands of people all hanging out, sharing stories. There's a fitness channel. There's video game development. There's video game servers. Go to the gym. If you want to build community or make friends, man, this is the way you do it. In fact, several people got married in the Discord. No joke. Not like the craziest amount in the world, but people did. So join the Discord, and you can call into the show. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Salena, do you want to shout anything out?
No, I'm just really happy to be here. This has been a lot of fun. And thanks so much for having me.
Right on. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, you can follow me on X at Real Tate Brown or on Instagram at Real Tate Brown. If you saw my Twitter, there is a new holy war. So if you want to, we're going to solve it tonight. Catholicism, Protestantism, it stops tonight. The fighting stops. So get in there and just plead your case. Yeah.
Guys, if you want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. But what you should check out is Pop Culture Crisis. We are live on YouTube and Rumble 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you there.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. You can follow the band All That Remains on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
We will see you all over at rumble.com/Timcast IRL in about 30 seconds. Thanks for hanging out.